Hello, everybody. We are here on Monday night, and you know what that means. That means it is time for the Sunday Night League. We are at Tokyo Expressway today, the lovely fictional street circuit based on true highways within Tokyo, though. And we are here specifically at Tokyo Expressway south clockwise, if that means anything to you. I have been playing this game since the literal minute that it released, and I still don't remember which layouts of Tokyo Expressway are which off the top of my head. But if it means anything to you, we're at Tokyo Expressway south clockwise. The other way of recognizing that is it's the one that kind of looks like a box with a little chute off to the side on one of the corners, and it has a chicane. But we'll get you familiarized with the track as we go along. We are here for SNL Formula X, as you can see. And this is a very, very high-speed circuit. It's a street circuit. It is very tricky. There will be lots of incidents, I am sure, but it will also be quite a fast-paced race. There are overtaking opportunities here, but it's not too easy, and one thing to remember is, of course, that we have bump drafting banned this season, so you shouldn't see any drivers nudging each other along down the straights. There are ways to work together, of course, using the slipstream, but bump drafting is the single easiest way, but that's not an option for today for the drivers. So, let's get going with the grid. First up on the grid, we have Ben, number 2, Toro Rosso, taking pole position. Last time Formula X raced at Tokyo Expressway, it was, albeit a different layout, but Ben was the winner. So Ben, a known quick driver on these street circuits at Tokyo Expressway, Ben qualified on soft compound tires, number 2. We'll go through their championship standings and their tires for the race later. For now, I just want to go through the grid and tell you what they qualified on. Second, our round 1 pole sitter and our round 3 front row sitter is Gasman. Gasman also qualified on soft compound tires. Now comes the first shock, not because of who it is, but because of the tires he qualified on. Next up is the first of the 2 Ferraris. It's number 12, Ajax. And Ajax qualified on mediums. So we have 2 soft runners on the front row, and then it's a medium runner who qualifies in third. And that's not to say there's no more softs left, because there are an abundance of softs left. It was just that good of a lap from Ajax to take third on the grid. It's a second row lockout for Ferrari, as Aloy qualifies in fourth, number 57. On soft compound tires, the Ferrari driver is. So that's 4th place for him. He'll be looking to see if he can move onto the podium. Bunnies, reigning champion and winner last time out. Bunnies also qualified on soft compound tires. Number 1 goes from 5th on the grid, directly behind his brother. 6th on the grid, we have a new driver. You may recognize the number 23, but that is not this time Ragemus's number. Ragemus has not joined us. This time it is a new driver by the name of Climicision. Climicision. I need to figure out how to pronounce the first part of that name still. But Climicision or Climicision, number 23, standing in for Kaiser, number 23 in the Audi. He'll be looking to impress on debut from 6th on the grid. It's looking good so far. Climicision did qualify on soft compound tires. Next up, we have Super Toxic, who qualified on mediums in the Lotus, once again proving that he's got very solid qualifying pace. Number 66 qualifies 7th on the grid on this occasion. 8th on the grid is Wendigo. Wendigo, the Cadillac driver, 2nd place in round 1 and round 2. He sits 2nd in the championship, only just behind Bunnies. Number 40, the Cadillac, goes from 8th position. Wendigo qualified on hards. Next up, returning driver. It's Bondimus, who is back on the grid, number 32, on the medium compound tires, qualifies ninth, his first round back. And I, for one, can't wait to see what he can do. He took a huge step up in terms of performance in Season 11, and Season 12, with him back, only having missed the first 2 rounds, I could see him climbing quite high up in the standings, and I could see him climbing quite high up in the coming races. Number 32, Bondimus, mediums, for qualifying, qualified ninth. 10th on the grid goes to Punisher, the McLaren driver, number 24, qualified on soft compound tires. Number 53, it's Tamo, who qualifies in 11th. Tamo qualifies on softs, so not the qualifying he was looking for. Rob on drums, the American driver in the American outfit. Rob on drums qualified on hard compound tires, so may not have been expecting too good of a qualifying, qualifies 12th on this occasion. 13th goes to Lynchmus, who now steps into a full-time seat in the place of Alpha Capri. Number 69 will replace number 9. Lynchmus qualified on soft compound tires, and I should also clarify that Bondimus is stepping in full-time in the place of Jam, who has unfortunately decided to leave Formula X at this time, as well as Alpha Capri, as I've said. So number 69 replacing number 9, number 32 replacing number 7 in Toro Rosso and Lotus, respectively. 14th on the grid, not the qualifying he was looking for, got a bit confused with where the pits are on this track. It is Slender Fella, who qualified on hards and will go from 14th on the grid. So the one last thing to let you all know, if you are a viewer who did not participate in this race or does not know this track very well, we're here at the start-finish line. However, the pit lane will do turn 1 is a right-hander, then we'll swoop to the left, back to the right, and to the left again, then go down a hill, and then do a hairpin. So at about turn 5 is the hairpin-ish, and on the exit of the hairpin is the pit lane. So the pit lane, unlike most tracks, is not at the same place as the grid. The pit lane is it's about halfway around the track. Well, not halfway, but maybe a quarter of a way around the track. For all intents and purposes, though, it's halfway around the track. So drivers, you will see, their in-lap and their out-lap will actually be the same lap. They'll have half a lap to warm up their tires, and then they'll go for their first proper flying lap. So it should be, well, that's how it was in qualifying. Of course, it'll stay true for the race, but you're not really taking the warm-up lap quite as easily in the race, because you want to be pushing, of course. It's a race. So that is really all the quirks of this track. It's a fun track, but it is tricky. Let's go through the tires that each driver has selected. Bunnies and Slenderfella have both gone medium hard in the Williams. Ajax is going soft hard. Aloe is soft hard. Gasman and Punisher, both the McLarens, are going medium hard. Both Toro Rossos, that being Ben and Lynchmus, Ben, of course, the pole sitter, are going triple softs. So Ben is really going to be one to look out for on triple softs. Bondimus and Super Toxic, both the Lotus drivers, going soft hard. Both Cadillac drivers go hard, so triple hard for the two Cadillacs, Rob and Wendigo. And Kaiser being replaced by Clemicision, of course, and Tamo. Well, or Tamo's not replacing anyone, Tamo's just driving for himself, of course, but Clemicision replacing Kaiser, but the two Audi drivers both going soft, medium. So outside of the Ferraris, every team, both drivers are doing the same tires for this round, and then for Ferrari, Aloe has an extra set of softs compared to a set of hards for Ajax. So that's your tires. Let's take a look through the standings. That's the last thing we need to get through before we can get going with this race. So the standings in the Drivers' Championship, It is only 2 points separating the top two, as Bunnies sits in first on 52 points, 50 points for Wendigo. A further 13 points back, Tamo sits on 37, Gasman sits on 36, and Ajax sits on 32, with Slenderfella only a further 2 points behind on 30. 28 points for Rob on Drums, 7th in the championship for him so far. Aloe sits in 8th on 18 points. Also 18 points for Ben. Punisher has 16 points in 10th in the championship. Alpha Capri sits on 13 points. Super Toxic on 6. Jam on 5. Lynchimus on 5. Kaiser sits on 0. And of course, Bondimus and Climicision, the two who are new for this race, new debutants for the season in this race, are, of course, both on 0 points as well. So, the constructors' standings, Williams leads the way on 82 points, 4 points ahead of Cadillac on 78. McLaren has 52 points, 2 points ahead of Ferrari on 50. That's the top 4. The bottom 3, Audi sits 8 points behind on 42 points. A further 11 points back is Toro Rosso on 31, and Lotus, having a difficult season so far, only on 11 points. That is the standings for you. I will pull the tires back up so that I have those available to me throughout the race. We have 14 drivers on this grid. It's Slenderfella, Lynchimus, Rob, Tamo, Punisher, Bondimus, Wendigo, Super Toxic, Climicision, Bunnies, Aloe, Ajax, Gasman, and your pole sitter, Ben. 14 drivers, only one winner though. Who can take it here at Tokyo Expressway? It's time to find out. As I apparently did not hit the start button. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. The lights are out and we are racing at Tokyo Expressway, straight on the overtake for Ben. What a start for the Toro Rosso driver. He is lengths ahead of the McLaren and Ferrari behind as Gasman goes into the first corner on the inside of Ajax, maintains second position. It is a huge lead already for Ben. Gasman, Climicision, what a start up into third. Ajax and Bunnies in fourth and fifth. Aloe sits in sixth, seventh for Bondimus. 8th is Super Toxic, right behind his teammate now. Tamo looking to move up. Wendigo in 10th, he dropped a couple positions, I believe. And down the inside goes Punisher into 11th. It's Lynchimus behind. Rob on Drums, is right behind Punisher. Then it's Lynchimus and Slenderfella still at the back. Look at that lead for Ben. That'll be melting down the straight though, as Gasman, starting on hards, is going to look to catch up to him in the slipstream. It's side by side for the brothers, and Climicision, Ajax from Bunnies, from Climicision from Aloe. These four are super close together. There goes Aloe to the inside. Can he pull off the move on Climicision? No, he can't. He has to drop behind the Audi for the time being. The Audi driver to the inside of of Bunnies. Can he make the move? Oh, there's contact. And that's actually Bondimus going around behind. There's contact for a number of drivers. Bondimus just about keeps it going. He's got damage on almost every single part of that car. The Lotus driver drops to the back of the grid. It looked like Aloe also had contact. He did on hard compound tires. Damage to the entire front end of that car. Punisher makes it through into ninth. It's Wendigo right on the back of this group. The Audis are side by side here. Climicision and Tamo side by side. Tamo goes down the inside. And I believe Climicision is friends with Wendigo and Tamo and the other Lithuanians who joined us for GTE last season. Of course, Murgistan and Sutkis not joining us for Formula X this time around. Wendigo makes the move on both Audis though. Down the inside of the hairpin, but they're back through already. Tamo up into 6th for the moment. Super Toxic running a good start to this race, up into 5th position. It's Bunnies who's dropped a ways off the two ahead of him. Ajax now challenging Gasman for 2nd position. Ben is comfortable out in front. Ben is loving this. And it's around the outside for Ajax. What a move for the Ferrari driver, who takes the position ahead of Gasman into second position. These three here are all champions in Formula X. Ajax in Season 9, Gasman in Season 8, Bunny's in Season 6, 7, 10, and 11. Bunny's a four-time champion. These two only one time, but they're both looking to get the championship again. As you can see, Gasman looking for a move, nothing doing there, into turn 1. He's going to sit behind Ajax for the time being, but all of this helps Bunny's. Super Toxic has dropped a few positions. I wonder if he's had an incident, as he's dropped 3 positions to Tamo, Wendigo, and Clinicision, who all run nose to tail now. Super Toxic still looking for an opportunity here. Can he make a move on Clinicision around the outside? It's a late braking. I think that was a mistake, though, as he drops a little bit further behind through the corner. Punisher in 9th, Aloe in 10th, Bondimus in 11th, Robon Drums in 12th, Lynchimus in 13th, and Slenderfella struggling here in 14th. He is on the hard compound tires, and they are not working for him. Ben on the soft. Look at that gap he's got. It's enormous, as the brothers are side by side now. Ajax on the inside of Bunny's. Bunny's round the outside. Can he make the move? Can he do it in the Williams? Has he pulled it off? He has done. Around the outside, can Ajax fight it back? Not yet. Ajax is going to have to sit behind now through the chicane. Gasman looking for his opportunity now. Ajax looks to the inside. Maybe a moment for Bunny through the chicane, as Ajax now has a run down towards turn 1. The Ferrari driver on the inside. Can he pull off the move? Where is Bunny's? He's right there to the outside. Bunny's on the outside. Can he pull off the move? No, Ajax swoops down the inside, and that's the position for the Canadian ahead of his brother. Ajax ahead of Bunny's. Oh, but he's going to fight it back. The Williams driver wants the outside line for the hairpin. He can't pull it off there yet. He's going to have to stick to the outside. He's going to sit behind. Gasman wants the move. To the inside goes Gasman. Gasman's looking for it. Can he get him under traction? No, there's contact. Bunny's is around. But Gasman has spun around Bunny's, and it looks like Tamo's around too. What has happened to them here? We'll look at Gasman and Bunny's first. On board with Gasman. What has happened between the two champions? Gasman on the inside tries to open up the corner, clips Bunny's rear wheel, and sends him spinning. He knows right away that was on him. He slows down straight away. Gasman blaming himself there. But what has happened to Tamo? He's right behind us, but I can't imagine he got caught up in it. And he hits the wall. Oh no! It's a bit of a glitch there for Tamo, who hits the inside of the pit exit. So disaster there for Tamo, disaster for Gasman and Bunny's. Bunny's having to go past Gasman now as Gasman sensibly waits up for Bunny's. Gasman drops to last position in this race now. It is disaster for the McLaren and Williams drivers, and the man who is battling them, Ajax, is now in an unbelievable bit of no man's land, as the 3 drivers behind him all face calamity in the space of about 5 meters. Wow, that is chaos here on lap 4. Ben is streaking away from the field. Ben is looking so comfortable. We're only 5 laps in and he already looks like the guaranteed winner. This is immense for him. Ajax sits in second. He is soft hard here. He's running well on the hards so far though, sitting in second. Clinicision on the softs though will presumably start to gain on him soon, as Bondimus already showing us why he's back, why we feared him last season, why he was a championship contender for the first chunk of last season. He has set a 1:15.6, that's the fastest lap of the race, and he's chasing down a podium position. Where did he qualify? Was it about 9th place or so? He sits in 4th now, having gained 5 or so positions. And the Lotus driver, let's sit on board with him in the slipstream, gaining on Clinicision, but is Clinicision gaining on Ajax? He looks like he is. So Ajax is going to be under pressure from the Audi soon enough, but these two have not raced yet this season, and one of them hasn't even raced in SNL before. Clinicision is running wonderfully at the beginning of this race. On lap 5, going on to lap 6, the Audi driver sits in 3rd in his debut SNL race. Bondimus, though, is looking to take that away from him. 4th place is fine, but Bondimus wants 3rd. Bondimus is going to sit behind, sit in the slipstream for now. Clinicision is going to be getting slipstream on Ajax now. Wendigo too far back to really be gaining on this group here. On that trio ahead, Super Toxic running a good start to this race. It was a disappointing round 2 for the Team Lotus as Jam pulled out early in the race, chose to quit. Wasn't going his way, Super Toxic just having some incidents, and Ajax already into the pits at the earliest possible time. That is very, very interesting to see. Ajax, the Ferrari driver, into the pits, into last place for now, but he's trying to undercut the field. Slenderfella down to last strategically. It's Gasman in 12th as the camera doesn't want to move. There we go. Bunnies ahead of Gasman, but Gasman in the slipstream is going to look to get ahead of the Canadian. You can see his teammate there ahead as well. It's Punisher and Rob on drums. Lynchimus ahead of this group, so it's Punisher, ahead of Rob, ahead of Bunnies, ahead of Gasman, as we go into the chicane at the end of lap 6. Oh, it's a bit of early braking from Punisher, who goes off the track. There's contact between Rob on drums and Gasman. Gasman hits a Slenderfella into the wall. Slenderfella got him involved in this. What has happened here? Have we just had about 5 cars involved in one incident on lap 6? What happens here? So we go to the nose of Rob on drums, who hits Punisher, who's slowed down. Bunny's forced to go over the curb. There's oversteer for Gasman, who then knocks Slenderfella into the wall, and it's disaster, as it's the second Williams put into a wall by Gasman in the first 6 laps of this race. Gasman absolutely struggling here to stay out of chaos, but I think all 5 of these drivers here struggling to stay out of chaos, as that was just the most, I think, slowest and most bizarre chain reaction incident I have possibly ever seen on this game. Lynchimus running a lovely race up here in 8th position. Lynchimus is running brilliantly. He's been known to have decent starts and start to struggle towards the end, but this is a really strong start for him. Lynchimus running well. It's side by side for Tamo and Aloe towards the front of the grid though. Tamo on the outside, he'll have the outside line. Super Toxic's going to be at risk here as well. They're 3 wide. Audi from Ferrari from Team Lotus. Who's it going to be in front? Super Toxic drops behind. It's Aloe who comes out ahead of Tamo. Super Toxic making some contact with Tamo there. Will go on board with Super Toxic, navigating the curves nicely. Maybe running a little bit wide there, but in the slipstream now is Tamo, who goes to the inside. Will he have the position even before we make it to lap 8? He's got Aloe. Aloe is going to fight this back, I'm sure, but for now it's the Audi driver who sits in front in 5th position. Up ahead, Wendigo right on the back of Bondimus and Clinicision. These 3 are close together. It's going to be Wendigo looking for a move on Bondimus. These 2 have never raced together before. Bondimus was not in the previous season of GTE, which is the only previous season Wendigo has raced in SNL. Bondimus now has been a bit of a classic driver in SNL by now, joined for Season 8 of Formula X. Season 8? Yes, Season 8. And a lovely addition to the grid. Happy to see him here, and we've seen him take steps up in Season 10 and especially in Season 11. Number 32, side by side with, not Tamo, side by side with Wendigo. The Cadillac driver through on Bondimus. Ooh, bit of contact there. Wendigo into the wall. I almost said into the boards. I've been watching too much hockey recently. Clinicision, though, is looking comfortable, and the more he sees Bondimus and Wendigo battling, the more he should be able to pull away. So this is a dream scenario for the debutant. The new Audi driver, Clinicision, is running very nicely. Evening all, says Slenderfella in the chat. Hello to you, Slenderfella. Good to see you in the chat today. Oh, it's a bit wide for Bondimus, and it's Wendigo who's going to sneak through turns 1 and 2, and he is up into 3rd position. Let's take a look at that. At this rate, I don't expect him to get much screen time, because he's not really, he's not having to battle anyone, really. So Ben, we'll stick with him just for a little bit here. Running very nicely, and you can see he's on his soft compound tires. He's got about a quarter of a fuel tank left. Consistent 1/16 throughout the entire race since lap 3. Ben is running a lovely race here. Number 2 in the Toro Rosso. More battling behind. It's Wendigo and Bondimus, of course. Who else would it be? Number 32 and number 40 absolutely duking it out here in the early stages of this race. I say early stages. This is a extremely high-speed circuit. The average speed here is massive. So 31 laps, and we're already on lap 10 if you go by Ben. So we are already about a third of the way through this race, which is insane to think about. We've only been here almost 12 minutes now. Here goes Bondimus to the inside of Wendigo, down towards turn 1. Bondimus is through nicely, using the slipstream, and he's ahead of Wendigo. The Lithuanian's going to have to sit behind for now. Tamo running slightly in no man's land. He's got Super Toxic not too far behind, but doesn't look like Super Toxic's really in a position to make a move. Aloe's dropped a little bit further back. Bunnies, seems to make contact with the wall there as Lynchimus re-overtakes him. The Toro Rosso driver nailing it, but Bunnies is going to get the run around these S's, and Gasman is not too far behind us. He'll be watching. You can see these drivers just off in the distance now, as Bunnies seems to get ahead of Lynchimus, but Bunnies, he's into the wall. Bunnies is at the wall. What has he done here? So Bunnies, he's going to make the move on Lynchimus, go down the hill, and he looks like he's pitting now. He goes to the outside as Lynchimus looks to the outside of him, and he brakes so late, and it looks like he even hits the handbrake at the last moment to make contact with the wall only with his rear tire, and then he goes straight for the pits. So I wonder if that was a planned pit stop or just deciding to bring down the time that he was losing from that mistake. Rob on Drums sits in 13th, not too far behind his North American compatriot Ajax, who sits behind Slenderfella, who goes side by side with Punisher. Makes a nice move there, 21 on 24. Oh, that's what it was. I was going through who I associate racing numbers or hockey numbers or baseball numbers or whatever it may be. I was going through that in my head last night with who do I associate every number with. I couldn't work out who I associate number 24 with. I knew there was somebody, couldn't figure out who. It's Punisher. I think that's the only number 24 I can think of in pretty much all of sports. I mean, I'm sure there are other number 24s, but it's the first one that comes to mind for me. If anyone else can think of any other number 24s in, whether that be racing, whether be it motorcycles or cars, hockey, soccer, football, either kind of football, baseball. I'm curious if you can think of any other number 24s. So, Lynchimus, Aloe, Tamo, and Ben all into the pit lane, and Ben, our net race leader, comes out of the pits into 6th position. So, he's looking comfortable. Ajax is his closest competition as far as we can tell. He sits behind Slenderfella. So it's actually not too big of a distance between Ben and Ajax. You can see Ajax there makes the move on Slenderfella. He sees Ben. Ben came out of the pits, and Ajax wants to stick to the back of him as best he can now. Ajax is using his one set of soft compound tires. Ben is using his second of 3. Gasman in 5th, 4th is Clinicision, 3rd Super Toxic, 2nd is Wendigo, and 1st is Bondimus, but I think we'll be seeing these drivers up front pitting now. Pat saying Jeff Gordon in NASCAR, but 24 is now used by William Byron. Those are both names I recognize. You would hope I would recognize Jeff Gordon. But I also recognize William Byron, as there we go, the top 4 all into the pits. Gasman should follow. Ben and Ajax, they're our net top 2. Slenderfella will also be into the pits at the end of this lap, as will Rob on Drums, meaning Tamo might be the net 3rd position, but it might be Bondimus, depends when he comes out of the pits. And Gasman mentioning number 24, Marshawn Lynch, running back for Seattle Seahawks, so that's American football then. Interesting. I would not have gotten that. I didn't realize Jeff Gordon or William Byron were number 24. Bondimus does come out of the pits into a net P3. Rob on Drums hasn't pitted. He goes another lap. Rob on Drums, the strategy master of SNL, chooses to go another lap on these hard compound tires, stretching that opening stint of fuel out to 12 laps. As I was saying, though, I would get Jeff Gordon. I wouldn't have gotten Jeff Gordon or William Byron, but I do know who they are. I have never heard, admittedly, of Marshawn Lynch, though. So I definitely wouldn't have gotten that one. Interesting ones there. curious if we can find different players or drivers. Rob on Drums saying not so fast. The all hard strategy is probably the worst decision he's ever made. Fair enough, but usually you make some fantastic decisions, Rob. So I think you can be allowed a mistake every once in a while as he goes into the pits there. So here's Ben, and Ajax is in the slipstream, I think. It's not going to be a powerful slipstream from this distance back, but Ajax is sticking with Ben now. I'm curious if we could find drivers and players with more numbers that match SNL drivers, especially the ones particularly in this race. Kobe Bryant was 24 for the LA Lakers. Was he really? Huh. Not that I watch basketball, to be fair, but I don't know. Kobe Bryant, I feel like, is one of the few players that there'd be a chance I actually would remember his number. My God, we're getting a lot of number 24s, actually. Ken Griffey Jr. for the Seattle Mariners. So Ben leads the way. I'm enjoying this discussion. This is fantastic. I'm very interested to hear this stuff, but I also can't get too distracted from this race, as Tamo and Super Toxic are side by side. Super Toxic, what a move! Round the outside, no, he's hit the wall! Tamo's back through! It was almost such an incredible move from Super Toxic, but it hasn't paid off, and that's going to put him vulnerable to Aloe, who is on his soft compound tires. Aloe should be soft to the end now, as Super Toxic on these hards. Super Toxic, what does Super Toxic have available to him today? He has soft hard available to him, so the same as Aloe, actually. Aloe to the outside, makes the move reasonably easily. I think the damage is gone now for Super Toxic, so he's going to pull into the slipstream, and he might be able to slip right back past. Go on board with Super Toxic. In the Lotus. He looks to be inside, but I don't think he's going to have an opportunity here. He's going to really need to outbreak Aloe, and Aloe actually outbreaks him, so Aloe maintains 6th position, and now he's looking at the back of Tamo saying, well, I got one, why not get two? He'll look to see if he can get the Audi driver in the coming laps. But he'll need to oh no, he won't really need to defend from Super Toxic, apparently. I was going to say he'll need to defend from Super Toxic. No, he's already going for it on Tamo. Wow! Can he pull off the move already? He does! Those soft compound tires really paying off as Tamo's medium's unable to keep up, and Aloe streaks through into 5th position. The Ferrari driver absolutely nails it. Wendigo sits in 4th. Bondimus has pulled away from him a bit into 3rd, into 3rd. Ajax dropping away from Ben. So Ben is pulling away now. It's a 16.4 for the past 2 laps, compared to a 16.5 and a 17.8 for Ajax in the past 2 laps. So Ajax is losing ground. I wonder if Ajax maybe hit the wall last lap. A 17.8 seemed pretty slow on soft compound tires for the front runners, especially considering he was setting 15.9, 16.5, 16.5 earlier, so a 17.8 does seem like a bit of a slow time for him currently. Let's see what he sets this lap. It's a 16.4 compared to a 16.4, so pretty even between the two here. About 400ths gained over that lap from Ajax. Bondimus, he can't afford to lose too much ground to Wendigo, but he sits comfortable right now. Wendigo's not quite in striking distance, but he's still there, putting a little bit of pressure on him. Aloe sits in 5th, followed by Tamo. Super Toxic Bunnies is up to 8th, sets a 17.0 on his hards. Gasman, 16.8 on his mediums. Climicision has dropped down to 10th by now. Punisher right behind him. Punisher, the Canadian driver, number 24, as we've been going through recently, sits behind in the Marlboro McLaren. He's looking for an opportunity to get past the Audi of Climicision. Debutant. Maybe Punisher can take advantage of Climicision's inexperience with SNL. Punisher's been here since Season 6 of Formula X. I believe missed round 1 of that season, got in for round 2. at Barcelona, won by Cthulhu on that occasion. Lovely win for him at his home race back in Season 6. Was Gasman with the slipstream is going to drop behind Climicision and Punisher, as Punisher looks to accidentally bump draft Climicision just before the braking zone there, so thankfully that won't be too beneficial for Climicision as it's right into the braking zone when he got the little bump. Gasman sits behind in the slipstream. And I think worth noting right now is that it's mediums for all three of these drivers, but mediums seem to be the least chosen tire for this round. So a lot of softs and a lot of hards for this round, but these three making it work on mediums. Mediums for Slenderfella as well. So mediums seem to be the way to go for the medium or the middle stint of this race. Rob on drums sits in 13th, the hards not paying off for him as it stands, and Lynchmus on the softs, not quite running the race he was earlier, but he had a fantastic first stint in this race. Things seem to have gone a little bit downhill since then, but he was running very strong earlier. Ajax looks to have closed up to the back of Ben a little bit. It was a personal best last lap, a 16-0 from Ben. Comparatively, Ajax is 15-9, so only actually about 11 thousandths gained on that lap, but the previous lap, Ajax gained 4 tenths. So I think, judging by the fuel, Ajax looks to be in on this lap. He is indeed, goes wide through the hairpin and into the parking garage for his pit stop. Bondimus looking comfortable, and now is a good time to mention the lights over the heads. I do this every race. It's probably a bit boring for you to hear me go through this whole sequence if you've been watching FX for a while. But there's lights above every driver's head. There's a green light above Ben's head there. That means that he has 25% or more of his overtake left. Bondimus has a red light over his head. That means that he has less than 25% of his overtake left. And I don't think... Oh, there is a driver this applies to already. Wendigo has no light above his head. That means he is completely out of overtake. He's running overtake free for the rest of his race. Nearly said the rest of his life. That would not be true. The rest of his race, though, he will be without overtake. Alobi under pressure from Tamo. Mediums starting to really come into their own for Tamo, it looks like, a 15-9 on the last lap from him, compared to a 16-6 from Aloe. So Tamo might have an opportunity here in the slipstream. See what he can do. Down towards turn 1, looks to the outside, nothing doing there, he knows it's not a great idea to try and be sending one down the inside there. So Ajax comes out of the pits in 6th, Bunny's in 7th, Gasman in 8th, Super Toxic in 9th, a little ways off Gasman, but not too far. Climicision and Punisher still quite close together, as Super Toxic going very slowly through that corner, and Punisher and Climicision pull way ahead of him. I wonder if Super Toxic has run out of fuel or something. He hasn't, but he's going quite slowly, as Slenderfella now, ooh, a bit of contact between the two, but Slenderfella makes it through, albeit with some damage. Rob on drums, setting consistent 18-1s the past 3 laps in a row. Continues on his way. In 13th position, he's got damage. I think he must have hit the wall, perhaps out of turn 1. I'd say if his damage fixes itself in the next few seconds, that's probably what happened. Looks to be the case. Lynchimus, 14th, on soft compound tires. So Ben, once again, with a very comfortable gap. Bondimus is going to come around the end of the S's now into Sector 2, as Ben is exiting the hairpin, so a big gap between Ben and Bondimus. Bondimus is not out of this should Ben make a mistake, although Ajax will be the other worry for him. Ajax just on a bit of an offset strategy, and when he pitted, it looks like he's refueled but not changed his tires, which means Ajax still has one more pit stop to go in this race because he still has a set of hards he needs to run. So Ajax running a very, very unique strategy here, and it's very interesting to see. I wonder how this will work out. He's going to take the extra pit stop, but he thinks the pit loss time is minimal enough that he can afford to take the extra pit stop and use up these soft compound tires that much more. That's very, very interesting to see. I want to see how that pans out. Gasman continues on his way, as does Precision and Punisher. Slenderfella as well. Bunny's into the pits, though, for what should be his final pit stop of the race. Unless, of course, he tries to pull off something strange like his brother does as well. And Lynchimus here has blue flags, his teammate coming up to lap him now. Ben running a phenomenal race. Ben on his way past Lynchimus. Continues on his way on lap 21. Bunnies comes out of the pits in 13th. Super Toxic in 12th. 11th is Rob on drums. Slenderfella in 10th. Precision now behind Punisher. Punisher has pulled off the move on Precision, who's now sitting in the slipstream. He's looking for a way through. I think he accidentally bump drafted Punisher there, trying to go to the outside. He goes to the inside at turn 1. There's contact. Punisher's into the wall. He's got damage. And Punisher drops to the 9th position behind Precision, who pulls off the overtake, albeit with a bit of contact, through at turn 1. And Precision continues on his way in 8th. Punisher, on the other hand, is he going into the pits? He makes the decision at the last second to go into the pits. Punisher, a little bit naughty there, cutting across the pit entrance. But he does get into the pits. Rob on drums has damage again. It looks like he might be struggling with that opening complex of corners. Here comes Super Toxic as Bunnies ends up behind him, and I think Super Toxic might be in the pause menu, so an AI might be driving for him. I wonder if that's why he's so slow with his four-way flashers going, as Bunnies makes it through into 11th. Punisher comes out of the pits now. He's in 13th, he's on hards, but other drivers will pit, and he should end up ahead of them with that. Ben into the pits for his final pit stop. Where will Wendigo be in comparison? Wendigo is going to continue on his way for one more lap at least. Excuse me. Aloe in 3rd, pulls into the pits, and Ajax. He'll have one more pit stop to go, but I'm not sure Ben will know that, as Ben comes out of the pits behind Ajax, and so this is looking good for Ajax. He does need one more pit stop, but if Ajax can pull away from Ben here, he could be in the fight for this win. Ben is looking comfortable. It's going to be a stretch for Ajax to beat him, but it's not impossible. There goes Ajax, and there goes Ben. The Toro Rosso driver might be having a bit of a heart attack at this point, seeing the Ferrari driver so far up the road, saying, what on earth has happened here? How have I dropped behind? I wonder if he's worked out that Ajax will need another pit stop, having seen him come out on softs again despite only having one set of softs, or will he just think, oh my god, I need to get ahead of Ajax? Hard to say. Oh, his contact with the wall for Wendigo. It's a mistake for the Lithuanian driver in the Cadillac team. He's going to look to see what he can do. He's going to be pitting at the end of this lap, so the damage should fix itself at some point while he's in the pit lane. Into the pit entrance, and into the pits goes Wendigo. He'll be onto another set of hards after this pit stop. Ajax continues on his way. Ben does the same. Ben has damage. Ben is definitely pushing because he's over-pushed, it looks like, and put himself into a wall. Wendigo still in the pits. It looked like Lynchimus coming out of the pits a lap down there. Gasman into the pits. What does Gasman have for tires? He is medium hard, so he'll be onto a set of the hards now. Bondimus opens up the steering. Oh, he's going to be side by side with Wendigo. Wendigo drops behind Bondimus. They're both on the hard compound tires, though, so this will be a very even fight. Wendigo with no overtake left, Bondimus with very little, and I have to say, one thing I want to point out is how much better Bondimus has gotten at overtake management over the seasons. It used to be that Bondimus would usually be out of overtake within the opening 5 or so laps, and could he fight during those opening 5 laps. He was a weapon when he was using that overtake, but he would really, really burn through it, and then he'd be kind of left as something of a sitting duck for really the entire rest of the race, as other drivers who had saved their overtake through the opening laps then had overtake to get past him. But Bondimus, doing much better with management now, on lap 24 of 31, still has just a little bit left. Wendigo has none left, on the other hand. Aloe has round about a quarter left. I'm surprised that light hasn't turned red, but I suspect if he uses even a dash more, it will. Tamo has a red light. Oh no! There's contact between Aloe and Tamo. They sorted out, but that looked like a shock to both drivers. I don't think they were expecting each other to be there. I think maybe Aloe trying to move over, not realizing Tamo had drawn side by side with him. Slenderfella possibly out of fuel there, into the pits. Rob on drums. He'll be into the pits here. He cannot pull another lap out of that fuel. There'll be another set of hards for him. There's Gasman on hards. Bunny, nope, there's Slenderfella. Thought it was Bunny's behind him. There he is. Bunny's on mediums. Is looking to catch up to the man that he had contact with on lap 4 of this race. It really took both of them out of contention for a podium position. These two drivers have been on a recovery drive since. Gasman, not common that he makes that kind of mistake, and I think he'll be sure to make sure he doesn't make that kind of mistake again anytime soon. Kind of pit maneuvering Bunnies out of the hairpin. Bunnies, though, whoopsies. Bunnies, though, trying to catch up. Oh, wow, that is a lot of curb to be taking, and the car gets a little bit unsettled as he lands. But he continues on his way, stays within track limits as far as I could tell. Clemecision behind in 9th. Slenderfella might be looking to see if he can catch up to Clemecision. So Slenderfella on the hards, Clemecision on the mediums though, so that'll be a tall order for Slenderfella. Punisher, oh, it just clips the wall there on the hard compound tires. That shouldn't cost him too much though. Rob on drums, finishes his outlap and continues on his way. Lynchimus and Super Toxic. Oh, bit of a moment there for Super Toxic, but he does save it. Ajax leads the way, but I think, well, by the rules, he does need to pit at the end of this lap. Not at the end of this lap, halfway through this lap. So he should be pulling into the pits any moment now, and whether Ben has figured it out or not, that Ajax needs to pit, there will be a huge weight lifted off his shoulders in just a moment's time. Ajax goes wide into the pit entry, into the pits. He should be putting on hards now, and Ben, should he be able to avoid any huge mistakes from here on out, looks to be a comfortable winner of this race potentially. Again, he needs to make sure he doesn't make mistakes. This is a street circuit. This is a tricky street circuit at that. Ben, he really needs to do his best to avoid mistakes. But there we go. Ajax comes out of the pits well behind Ben now. And Ben looking ever more comfortable out in front. Number 2, champion in endurance in the Group 3 category. Continues on his way. He's looking like he will be a race winner again in Formula X. Last time he did it was, of course, at Tokyo Expressway. We'll see if he can do it again. Ajax will be hard-pressed to catch up to him now, with only 5 laps to go at the end of this one. It's not going to be easy as Ajax weaving to warm up his tires. There is a Toro Rosso. No, that's not a Toro. Yes, it is. A Toro Rosso in front of Ajax, but it's the wrong one. It's Lynchimus who's a lap down. Ben is at the hairpin. Ajax is halfway through the S's now. Onimus enters the S's. It's Wendigo putting pressure on him. The both of these drivers on hards. Wendigo, Bonimus still has a little bit of overtake left. Wendigo completely out. To the inside goes Wendigo in the Cadillac. Can he pull off the move down towards turn 5? Number 40 through on the inside. Can it be a switchback for Bonimus? No, he's going to have to sit in the slipstream if he's going to want to make a move back. And Aloe on softs is going to be rapidly gaining on these two. Aloe's not out of a podium fight. Tamo, also on softs, will be looking good. Bunnies to the inside of Gasman pulls off the move. It's Williams ahead of McLaren now. It's looking good for him. Clemecision behind him, the Audi. Then it's Slenderfella, still looking to gain on Clemecision. In fact, he might just be the hards working for Slenderfella at the end of this race. He might have an opportunity to pull himself into 9th position still. Punisher in 11th. 12th is Rob on drums. These two both struggling with the tires they chose. Lynchimus in 13th, and Super Toxic having a really tough second half of this race in 14th. Ben still looks comfortable. We'll come back to him every once in a while just to make sure he hasn't binned it or anything, but he's looking good so far. Ajax in second, Bondimus in third. He's still under pressure from Wendigo. Wendigo, the Lithuanian, wants a podium. Triple hards to a podium could be a very, very impressive result for him. Bondimus, though, does want this. Bondimus has damage, and that's going to make him very vulnerable here to a Lowy, who is well within the slipstream of these two now. The Ferrari driver, let's go on board with him down this straight. Pat saying he'll have to look, he'll have to watch this race again later this week. Spent most of the race looking at numbers of people in the race, and I don't blame you. I got quite sidetracked by that. It's actually a surprisingly entertaining thing to look into. What sporting figures do you share your numbers with? I, for one, race with the number 99. I know I share a number with people like Antonio Giovinazzi, Wayne Gretzky, Aaron Judge. I'm sure there's some other number 99s out there. As a Lowy, now he's got the opportunity in the slipstream. He'll go to the outside of turn 1. He's got more overtake than Wendigo, but that's a pretty low bar given Wendigo has none left. Round the outside of turn 1 is insane. I know he's got better tires, but what a move for a Lowy. That was fantastic. Jorge Lorenzo, 99. I knew there was a MotoGP rider I was missing. As a Lowy sits behind Bondimus. Lowy is looking, he's lurking here. He wants this opportunity. He wants this podium on lap 29 of 31. He's going to look for an opportunity. Goes to the outside. Thinks better of it. Slots into the slipstream. Wendigo's going to have an opportunity here as well. He's going to go... Ooh, can he go in between the two? Surely not. It's going to be 3 wide down to this right-hander. Wendigo backs out a bit, so it's only 2 wide, but swooping around the outside is Lowy. What a move! Throws himself into the podium positions. There we go, a Lowy. And being told, yeah, but you're a gamer, not an athlete. But this is amateur esports. Esports. Amateur, but esports. We're e-athletes? I don't know, I already regret trying to use the name, or the term, e-athletes. I'm not gonna ever say that again. Ben leads the way, though, on the penultimate lap of the race. Ajax looks comfortable in second, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to get any better than that. I tell you what, actually, although he's not super far behind his teammate, I don't think he'll be able to gain on him enough in time. Slenderfella saying he had no idea he was lagging. And he is lagging a little bit, I think. It doesn't look too bad. I was around you in the race at some point, Slenderfella. I didn't notice any lag from you. So I think you're good, Slenderfella. Don't worry about it too much. Clinicision in 9th. It was a fantastic start to the race for this debutant driver in SNL, the rookie, number 23. But as he continues on his way, the race has sort of fallen out of his hands a little bit. He still sits in a decent position. 9th is nothing too shabby in SNL, but it's not quite where he was earlier. Bunnies leads ahead of Gasman. Not leads, but leads for 7th place ahead of Gasman. Tamo, Bondimus, and Wendigo. We've still got fighting here. Aloe's clear out in 3rd, but for 4th it's still a battle as Bondimus slots ahead of Wendigo. Bondimus into 4th. It's Aloe in 3rd, Ajax in 2nd. We'll keep an eye on Ben. I do not want to lose track of him, but we do have some battling to keep our eyes on. Tamo's looking like he could get involved in this, frankly, as Wendigo goes to the inside of Bondimus on the hairpin. Ooh, Tamo's getting involved really now. Tamo's right up in this. We're going to keep an eye on this for a moment, but Ben, he's going to go through the final proper corners of this race, manages the chicane nicely. It's start to finish domination for Ben. He won last time we came to Tokyo. He's going to win again. The Toro Rosso driver crosses the line victorious. What a drive. Ajax, he's in second. He's got his Ferrari teammate in view behind him. But it's going to be Ajax who's going to come home second and Aloe third. There's still more battling. Tamo is in fourth. Aloe's in third. Tamo's in fourth. Bondimus is in fifth. Ajax, he's going to come across the line second. Third for Aloe. Sets the fastest lap of the race while he's at it. But Tamo, from sixth to fourth on the final lap, it's Bondimus fifth. And Wendigo loses out in a sixth. Gasman now ahead of Bunnies. Gasman has pulled off the overtake on Bunnies. Bunnies is going to have to settle for eighth. Race winner last time out eighth this time, but it's seventh for Gasman ahead of him. These two have not had the race we would have expected from them. Clemicision in ninth. The rookie, the debutant, comes home ninth, just ahead of Slenderfella, who challenges him right to the end in 10th. Clemicision ninth, Slenderfella 10th. Punisher will come home in 11th. We've already had Lynchimus 13th and Super Toxic 14th. It's Punisher in 11th. And 12th place will be Rob on drums in the Cadillac. Slows right down at the end. Not quite the drive the triple hard driver was looking for, but he'll cross the line now in 12th position. And that is your race. Ben, what a drive. Victorious once again here at Tokyo Expressway. There you have it. The number 2 driver in Toro Rosso finishes first. What a drive. Domination in its purest form. It's not common that we see a drive like that in SNL. Few drivers have dominated races like the way Ben did today. Absolutely brilliant. Ajax comes home second, only just ahead of his teammate Aloe. Let's see if we can get a camera view that shows the two of them properly. Well, there's Ajax. Comes home second, the Canadian driver. That'll be a good push for him in the championship fight. Aloe in third. He'll be happy with that. Fastest lap of the race. Doesn't add a point, but I've always liked getting fastest lap. I think it's good bragging rights, and on this occasion, Aloe's the one who earns it. Tamo in fourth. A brilliant last lap from him. They used to say last lap Lando in about 2020, 2021, that kind of time, because he had a tendency to make overtakes on the final lap in Formula 1, Lando Norris did. Last lap Tamo, on this occasion, 2 overtakes on the final lap, puts himself in fourth. Bondimus, a welcome return to Formula X, comes home in 5th. Wendigo. This should be a result that puts him in the championship lead, but he will have been looking for better. It could have put him in the championship lead by more. Gasman, not the result he was looking for, but he will be pleased to at least make the top half of the grid. Bunnies, not quite so lucky, finishes 8th. The championship leader going into this round will likely drop out of the championship lead. Won't drop out of championship He won't drop out of championship contention by any means, but definitely out of the championship lead. Clemicision in 9th. A lovely start to his SNL career for number 23, and I'm sure we'll be seeing him back sooner rather than later. Slenderfella 10th. The Williams driver, not quite the result he was looking for, but could have been worse. I think medium hard was never going to be the strongest strategy. The strongest strategy clearly turned out to be triple softs, which is what, of course, Ben went with. Punisher in 11th. 12th was Rob on drums, triple hards not going his way. Lynchimus 13th and Super Toxic, a tough round for those last two, who finishes 14th, does Super Toxic. And before I go through a couple bits of provisional standings, Pat saying Daniel Suarez, also 99, I think, one of the 2 non-US NASCAR drivers, or non-US driver in the current NASCAR field, is what he meant to say. And let's take a quick look at what I believe are the sum of the provisional standings. So provisionally, the standings will be Wendigo on 64 points in the lead, 62 points for Bunnies, only 2 points behind, a further 5 points back to Ajax, 2 more points to Tamo. Then it's Ben on 48 and Gasman also on 48, Aloe on 40, and Slenderfella on 37. So that is your provisional top 3, 6, 7, 8. That's your provisional top 8 in the drivers. And teams provisionally, Williams on 99 points, Ferrari and Cadillac tied on 97 points for the top 3. 4th through 6th, 5 points separating the group, as McLaren on 70 points, Audi on 48, and Toro Rosso on 65. And I'm not sure how many points Team Lotus would be on, but they will be they'll be a solid distance behind. Well, there you have it. That is Tokyo Expressway for you. It's been a fantastic race. Congratulations once more to Ben on a brilliant win. Congratulations to Ajax and Aloe, who take a 2-3-4 Ferrari. Next time out, we go to Dragon Trail Gardens. That's a track where it can rain. It's the last fictional circuit of the season for us. Then we'll go to 4 real circuits, but only after a brief brief Easter break. But in the meantime, we've got one race before that, Dragon Trail Gardens Reverse in Croatia. It's a fictional circuit, but it's a fun circuit, and it's a tricky circuit. Drivers are really being faced with tough circuits so far this season, and I can't wait to see how these drivers manage it next time out. I'll see you in about a week's time. Thank you to everybody who watched. This has been SNL Formula X Season 12, Round 3, Tokyo Expressway. Thank you, and goodbye.